Hi, everybody, and welcome to Ask Dez Merrow. On today's episode, I'm joined by Tim Merritt, Territory Manager at A-dec and Certified Ergonomics Specialist. He's going to talk about how A-dec is reshaping the modern dental operatory. We're going to dig into A-dec's new DS5 connected digital touchscreen and what true operatory connectivity means for real-time diagnosis, productivity metrics, and future-proofing your investment. Tim's also going to walk us through A-dec's powerful visualization and augmented reality tools for designing treatment rooms, as well as their push into AI with a 24/7 digital receptionist that ties into your practice management software. We're also going to discuss the popular Smart Start package that helps new practices launch and scale with built-in marketing support and aggressive equipment discounts. If you're planning a startup, remodel, or just wondering what's next in dental technology, you won't want to miss this conversation. Let's jump right in. Well, thank you for joining us, Tim. It's always a pleasure to have somebody representing A-dec here with us. I'd love for you to start by telling everyone about yourself, what you did prior to going to A-dec, and kind of why A-dec was the attractive next step in your career journey.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Daz. Great, always good connecting with you. Tim Merritt, A-dec Territory Manager. Been in the role for a little over 3.5 years now. Started my dental career back in 2011 out in California. So I grew up on the West Coast and then went to school in North Carolina. I'm a UNC grad, go Tar Heels. Played soccer there, was drafted, played professionally for a little bit, and then finished up my career after a pretty gnarly knee injury, and then randomly got into dental sales back in 2011 and progressed my career. The why A-dec, it's always been really my dream job. I was previously at Dentistry Serona on the imaging side, which was a great opportunity to learn more about the clinical and diagnostic aspect of dentistry at a super high level. But A-dec was always in the back of my mind as being, smaller family knit community, great culture. Every person that I have ever met from A-dec was just so prideful about being part of the organization, and it was always somewhere I just really wanted to be and really help dentists kind of dive into, a deeper part of the business, and the core part of the business and building it from the ground up was always something that really intrigued me as being part of that project and be a part of their dream and kind of seeing where it can go from the start to finish, if you will.
Now that makes total sense. And I want to touch on something you said, a small family company, because, when I think of A-dec, I think of this huge entity, but it really does have that small company. Everybody in the company is a family feel to it. I've been there a couple of times, as you know. You were gracious enough to invite me out to an event there, and I've always been, even with my time with Patterson, I've always been so impressed with the entire facility and A-dec's approach to everything. I mean, how they treat their employees, how they focus in on every detail to make sure that the product is just second to none. I'm a huge fan, as you can tell. I'm a raving fan. I love A-dec. I know there's been a lot of things going on at A-dec, so I'm hoping you can fill us all in on what's new, what's exciting, what you see coming up.
Yeah, thanks for the little recap. And we had a great time last year, right? Last summer, I think it was. We were out there together, and it was fantastic. I always love getting back to the mothership, we call it, and getting involved in the manufacturing process and really showing kind of what we're all about. Ken Austin, the founder, along with Joanne, they had 15 major principles. One of them was build off the basis of need. So I think that's a huge part of where we're at today. We've had to continually evolve from, the very beginnings of A-dec, where it all started with Ken Austin's AVS system, air vacuum system. And now as we progressed into chairs and delivery systems and cabinetry, now we're at a point where we're able to get with our software engineers. We have 140 engineers that work at A-dec, way more than any salespeople, but we're continually evolving. So now we have a product that connects to the internet. So you think about connectivity and what that means for the doctor, right? We have real-time feedback on the equipment. So our team can reduce, chair downtime, can diagnose and fix issues from afar. They can monitor their equipment anywhere in the world with internet connectivity. And you think about the future investments, right? If you're connected to the internet, like that investment that you're making will be relevant for years and years to come, rather than in the past where you buy a mechanical type of chair and delivery system, but as technology is evolving so fast now more than ever, it really makes a lot of sense to have that connectivity aspect and then have it all tied in to that platform, which I'm sure we'll talk a little bit more about in a minute here.
Absolutely. I mean, there's definitively a reason why A-dec is in so many dental schools, on our military ships. Just the amount of engineering and perseverance to get the right product that's reliable is impressive. So from the technology standpoint, I'm such a nerd, so this is really exciting to me. I know there's some really cool stuff going on, so hit us with the first thing. What's the first cool thing you want to share? I know what I want to hear, but
Right.
I want to hear what you
Yeah, sure. So with the connectivity part, we have something called a DS5. So it's like an iPhone type of touchpad, fully in living color. In the future, we'll be able to put your profile picture, but really everybody in the clinic that is practicing will have their own user profile. So have all their favorite settings, all their chair presets from an ergonomic perspective. When they sit into that chair, they click on their profile, and everything goes to everything that they love. So when the patients come in, they know where that treatment position is going to be from the get-go. So it really enhances the whole team's kind of approach, because everybody's involved in their own settings, have their own profile. Patient experience is great because they're going to have everything dialed in from the get-go, so there's less chair time, right? And then preventative maintenance wise, we'll know how long they're holding that handpiece during a procedure, or how many hours that handpiece was used during that day or week or month. So a lot of really cool aspects to the connectivity part, but there's a lot of functionality too in terms of why it makes sense for the investment, especially moving forward, and how we're going to evolve with everything going on with AI and future proofing that investment. It's pretty exciting, and who knows what dentistry is going to look like in the next 5 or 10 years. But with the connectivity part, we're really at the forefront of keeping up with the investment.
Really, it's incredible to me when you think about the metrics that you can pull from tracking handpiece use. I mean, for multi-practice or multi-doctor practices, or even DSO type situations, having that information is incredible, because you can start to, first of all, you can see how productive your associates are in those practices, but you can also start to shore up your schedule and really dial in on productivity from a scheduling standpoint. So that just blows my mind. Are you guys seeing that in practice now? Is it out yet, or is it about to be released? What's the situation there?
Yeah, no, great point. So I just got my demo unit, and I will be at the FDC later in June with that. So really excited to showcase, the capabilities of it. Back to your point, I think you nailed it. I mean, I know we've had a discussion around this, but what really excites me is the metrics you can kind of go off of. Say you're an established doctor who's bringing on a new associate, and they're practicing with you for the first month. Well, there's a lot of really cool data. It may take Dr. A, who's been established in treating patients for the last 30 years, 45 minutes to do a crown prep, but the new associate maybe takes an hour and 15, hour 20 minutes. Well, you'll be able to kind of evaluate that data, and maybe there'll be some more teaching moments and a conversation that can be had. What really all ties together is more and more integration, more and more, data with the whole ecosystem of everything connected. And moreover, we have an intercom functionality where they can communicate from touchpad to touchpad without having to bring out their phone or text or wear those little earpieces. So there's a little, exam ready in Knot 5 or emergency over in Knot 2. They'll have all that preset so they can go ahead and ping messages to each other, which again, the communication aspect and connectivity is really awesome.
And then it shows up in a place where the doctors can't ignore it.
Yeah.
Because
we all know.
Back from my assistant days, sometimes we had to kind of elbow the doctor or, do a little thumb back towards the screen like, hey, there's a message for you there. But now if it's on their touchpad, they can't help but see it. So, I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, it shows up right at the top, and they can, and you can either program to do a little chime or a little, where it pops up for for 3 seconds and it'll go away, but it'll let you know that you have messages waiting, just like your phone would. So again, with the ability to have the connection with the internet, just endless possibilities of where we're going to go with this thing, especially when you think about how fast, technology and the internet and artificial intelligence are moving right now.
That's fantastic. Now, one thing I do want to ask about, because I know I saw this last time I went to A-dec, you showed it to me, and I thought it was the coolest thing, especially for someone like me who's helping doctors find space and visualize what equipment would look like in a space, or even in their own office, what specific equipment would look like in their office. Tell everybody a little bit about the 3D
Dream in 3D, we call it.
Yeah. Yes, that. Tell them.
Dream in 3D. Yeah, it's an amazing. I use it every day. I love it. It's a great visualization tool to walk through, and you can build out. You can start with an empty operatory, and then you can drop in different pieces of equipment. So you can have your chair, unit, light, delivery, and you can spin around it in 360 degrees, and then kind of look at the different touch pads and see how you want to maybe scale your project, right? We can scale it all the way down to a very basic touchpad, or you can scale it all the way up to our brand new integrated implant motor delivery system. So we've now integrated with our DS7. It's a little confusing, but we have a DS7, which is our 500 top of the line unit, where we can integrate implant motor now and apex location all into one single user interface that's connected and all of that, right? And then we also have our DS5, which is going to be more of like an iPhone type screen, where you can have apex location, electric motors, etc., all built in. So you can really scale, the way you want to have each operatory set up, which fits your budget and everything else.
That's really cool. And for the doctors that are, the truth of the matter is that there are more women coming out of dental school than men anymore. And so office design has changed quite a bit, right? So this is a fantastic tool for people that are considering remodeling their practice. They need to replace equipment. They can really see all the different styles and finishes that A-dec has to offer. And there are so many choices, but to be able to see that in your office as though it were completed, to me, is a game changer. And even for the guys that can't really visualize it, they'd have all their assistants, right, or their wife is there helping them. They can see that. And to me, it's silly not to take advantage of that if it's available, because why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah. No, I think you're dead on. I mean, there's so many different types of delivery, and there's pros and cons to each one. So I love to really walk through, the difference between a rear delivery, rear delivery setup, or a continental, where over the patient, or a traditional, and what the pros and cons are of having the light on the ceiling versus on the chair. There's so many different, decisions to be made with this type of, with this type of investment, that we want to make sure that we fully explain everything at the highest level, and visual cues are big time, especially when you're kind of laying out an operatory in a space. So.
Right. And so for everybody that isn't totally clear on this is very much like, I'm gonna equate it to Pokemon Go. So, when you're walking around and you've got your Pokemon Go in your hand, and then you see, Charizard shows up and you're chasing Charizard, but it's the actual video with your little animated Charizard on it. That's kind of what this is. You're holding up an iPad, basically, and it's your operatory with the equipment that you're looking at overlaid, so you can see what it actually looks like, size-wise and color-wise, and what the light from the ceiling or the side looks like. It's just amazing. An amazing tool to help people make decisions, and because often, as you know, there's operatories that are very strangely laid out, or have a unique shape to them, or maybe there's a window in a place that there shouldn't be a window, and what's the light going to look like here, and what if we mount it over here? Oh, we can't mount it over here. It wouldn't fit there, that sort of thing. So yeah, I think that's super cool.
Yeah, there's even an augmented reality aspect where we can take a blank kind of canvas and then pick out the equipment and then drop it. I can even put it on my desk, or you can put it in your operatory and kind of lay it over the existing equipment. Yes,
that's what I was thinking
there's
of.
so many different ways to spin it around and kind of showcase, what it would look like, and like I said, the pros and cons of kind of putting putting different equipment wear and whatnot. So
Super cool.
yeah,
That's just
absolutely.
that makes my little nerd self happy.
I love it too. It's fun.
So what
It's
else is
fun.
happening with A-dec? Any other exciting developments that we need to know about?
Yeah, so we've launched, oh my goodness, I mean, just a plethora of new equipment in the last 3 years. I mean, you think about how much dentistry's changed in the last 5 years, but moreover with us, the last 2.5 years, really since I've joined A-dec, we've come out with so many new products, and we're always finding ways to, again, address the needs of the market. So this is the biggest, latest, and greatest, the integration story with Apex location, implant motor integration, and then the connectivity part, which really protects your investment for the next 10, 20 years, is so vital for us. So I think we're gonna probably hopefully have a little bit of a break and just kind of let everything settle in a little bit. But yeah, our engineers have been hard at work, and this whole digital transformation program and initiative, and now finally we're at the release of it, is really really exciting. So we're excited to kind of see what the future holds. And again, I think we're putting ourselves in a place where we're gonna be at the forefront. We're hopefully going to revolutionize how the dental practice operates and the dental operatories operate. And we also just came out with something called Link AI. Now, Des,
Ooh.
have I told you about Link AI at
I
all?
think we talked about it briefly, but I'd love to know more.
Sure. Yeah, it's kind of a way to tie the front office in with the back office. So, long story short, it's a 24/7 digital or AI receptionist. So, if it's really not to replace your whole staff, but however, the mundane tasks that they're doing all day every day, this can help free up a lot of time. And it also ties directly into your practice management system. So, we're working with 85% of the top ones out there. There's a few that we're still onboarding, but it's a way to kind of deep dive and have almost like a chat GPT-esque way of pulling reports, uncovering opportunities, um, organizing the day. A lot of doctors, have their morning huddles. It'll organize the morning huddle for you.
Oh,
So there's a lot of really great value in that, and then also it can tie into the connectivity aspect of each operatory and each connected device. So we're really going full circle with how we're envisioning the future to go, and really really kind of creating an ecosystem that is fully tied into the future of dentistry. So yeah, really exciting
that's
times.
exciting. So it's like a chat GPT for all your office data within your practice management software. So you
Right.
could you could literally ask it for a morning huddle. Could you, and I'm not saying you could, I'm asking, could you literally say, "Hey, how many of our patients today are going to have crowns?"
Absolutely. And it'll run data like how many patients had crowns last month, or how many extractions have we had, are there opportunities for implant placement, etc. It'll kind of dive into that data for you.
Wow. So this
Again,
would replace
technology.
reporting.
Yeah. So the best technology is a technology you don't have to think about, right?
Yeah.
So I think this is a great, great opportunity for us to kind of tie everything together with this platform. So really, again, we're just starting out. Everything's Aveda, like what are they doing in software? But I think it makes a lot of sense for where we're heading and where the future is. So
I hope you
yeah,
guys are reaching out to all the consulting companies because that's a gold mine for them. I mean,
yeah,
why wouldn't they want to work with a company that can pull that type of data to help them bring up their clients, right? I mean, the name of the game is data. So, fantastic.
yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah. I think so too. I mean, I think there's definitely a need. Back to Ken Austin's, one of our principles: build off the basis of need, and we definitely have a need for this. I mean, you think about where everything else is going. I know I'm saying being a little repetitive with this, but I mean, how often do you use Chat GPT or any kind of AI? Does I mean you're probably
Right.
using it on a daily basis, right? I mean, I know I am. It's still A-dec quality. It's built to last. Again, this investment is, we know it's not cheap, but if it costs $20 more to have a month, I mean a day, to have a connected piece of equipment rather than something that you buy in the cheap that you have to change out every
Right.
5 to 10 years. I mean, we definitely see that there's a need there, and it's just a really exciting time.
Yeah.
Really exciting times.
Okay,
Okay.
so I know that previously you had a package for startups. Is that still in effect? And can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, that's called our Smart Start package. It's by far our most aggressive option to get doctors into A-dec when they're purchasing their first dental practice. So what's great about Smart Start is there's a marketing company that we team up with. So there's awesome marketing support from the get-go. Two, it gets them a DSO type discount out of the gate, right? And they get to protect that discount for 2 years. So they can, depending on their budget, they can start off, with just a few rooms and then scale it up. And we give them time to get revenue rolling, if you will, and then they can kind of purchase additional operatories within those 2 years. So that is the Smart Start program in a nutshell. There's a couple of qualifying aspects to that: chair unit light and a 12 o'clock cabinet. But we have so many different options where we can scale it in to really fit the initial budget of that project. So yeah, we do very well with the Smart Start program. It's been awesome. So we would love to talk to more customers about that, because it really puts A-dec in a really strong position where we're super close with where we need to be in terms of pricing.
That's fantastic. And the preserving it for 2 years is great, because for those people that think that it's not feasible to add more rooms within 2 years, I can't tell you how wrong that is, because I've had so many doctors, if they're in the right location, they're placed appropriately. I've had many, many, many doctors say to me after year one, Des, we need to equip another op. We need to equip another two ops. It's amazing how frequently that happens. So being able to carry that discount forward is that's a game changer for a lot of people, especially for those doctors who have a smaller startup budget, and may have to forego an op for whatever reason. This gives them the chance to catch up quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially in Florida. We're in Florida. It's growing like crazy. Yeah, you're right. I see it all the time as well. They make the initial investment that fits their budget, and then, they have the opportunity to quickly recapture a bunch of revenue and then add the additional ops needed. So yeah, I love the program. It's a great way that we partner with our customers and again, give them the flexibility they need to get where they want to be and build that dream practice. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, Tim, thank you so much for joining us today. Again, I'm going to say it again. You know how I feel about A-dec. I love it. I love it. Tell everybody really quickly what the best way to reach you is. And I didn't even ask you this before. I know what territory you cover, but they don't. So go ahead and give us that rundown.
Yeah, thank you, Des. I appreciate it. You can reach me. So I live in Ponte Vedra, Florida, but I cover Central Florida. So I go all the way out to Lakeland area, all the way down to Vero Beach. But I work with two other colleagues. They're like my family members. So we're in a pooled territory. So together, all three of us cover Florida. So my good friend Nicole Caltabiano, she's over in the Tampa market, all the way down to Naples, and then my good friend Kevin Bielek, he picks up South Florida. So the three of us covered all of Florida except for the Panhandle. So yeah, you can reach any of us. If you can go to adec.com and find the TM map, if you will. But yeah, my email is tim.merritt, MERRITT at a-dec.com, and then my cell phone's 253-225-6327.
Fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you again, Tim. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah,
good
we'll
talking
talk
to you.
soon.
Alrighty.
Oh, you'll be at the FTC? I'll see you at the FTC.
Yes.
Everybody make sure you go
you'll be
see
there.
Tim at
All
the
right.
FTC.